Listen, breaking isn't an art form anymore. It's a sport. And I know you've been a part of it because you go to these competitions and you enter to win some bread. It's all good, but we can't negate the fact that it's going into a sport aspect and the art form is being taken away. Think about it like this. Who didn't show up to the Olympics in Paris when breaking was at its peak, if you want to call it its peak? Ken Swift himself. He should have been the person that would have been the first one on the judging panel to judge what breaking is. But he himself grew up in the 70s and the 80s knowing what breaking was to its roots. And he saw that breaking is not supposed to be on the stage like that. There's no art for where it's heading and for where it is now. Now, I'm not saying that I don't like where it is. I love where it is. I love the competition. People love battling. I love that people can make money from doing what they love to do. But let's not change the fact that the art is being taken away. It is. The only time we're truly and genuinely being a part of the art form and really loving the craft for what it is when we go to practice or when we go to a jam and we just cipher. No money, nothing involved. We just trying to get down. And that's what it was about. It's changing. Yeah, I'm talking to you. And we got to try to bring some of that stuff back. Now, that's a whole ecosystem of itself, trying to get back into it being actual art form. And a lot of people are going to be like, man, I do this for the love. It's an art form for me. That's what I think about first and foremost. But you still go to those competitions because first, you want people to know what your name is and who you are. Two, you want to win the jam with your crew or by yourself. And three, you want to make bread. So that's a whole different category of breaking than what it was originally stated for. To get out of some poverty, impoverishment, to get out from the hood and all the negativity that was happening, the gang violence, all the drama, and to do something positive. But like I said, that's not the case anymore. The case right now is people want to be celebrities. They want to get sponsored. They want to be seen as the best top B-boy or B-girl. And they want to go full-time in the competitive aspect of breaking. Like I said, breaking has battling in it. I'm not trying to negate that. But I also know that people aren't looking at it for the art anymore. And everybody wants to say, yo, it's about the art. It's about the music. It's about this and that. But yet we still go to these competitions because that's the only place that we can see ourselves as partaking and being a part of the culture. Listen, you are doing this dance a service when you are practicing by yourself in the basement, when you're practicing with your crew, just to vibe. I'm saying just to gain more of your skills, to see how far you can take your body and how far you can take these moves that's been given to us. The signatures are being made each and every day. You are a part of that. But the only time that you are genuinely enjoying the craft and genuinely enjoying the art form is when you're at practice. All right. So go to those jams or start, and I can't even call them jams. They're competitions because there's a bracket and there's money behind it. A jam is like, here we had B-Boy Barbecue in Philly, where it was a cookout, it was your family, kids was running around, there may have been a floor, sometimes it wasn't even a linoleum floor and you were just breaking on the concrete. Old heads up rocking, graffiti was being sprayed in the background. That's what a jam is. A jam is a party, it's been said. But all these competitions, everything you see on YouTube, that's just literally competition, sport, sponsorship. Let's get to the money. And I ain't mad at it. Get the bread. But if you want to preserve the culture and you want to preserve the art form, it always comes back to teaching. It always comes back to you honing the craft, getting down to the nitty gritty by yourself, understanding the foundation, understanding the history, developing different skill sets and moves, right? Climbing that ladder and then giving it back to the next generation that's behind us or coming up into this. That's preserving the culture, not all this flashy stuff that you see on YouTube or when you go to these competitions. Let's try to bring back the jams. Maybe I should try to bring back a jam. And if a jam, that's what I meant to say. So holla at me, B-Boy Native on Instagram if you want to make something happen. But anyway, I'm hype. You can see we got to bring the jam aspect back, right? Maybe throw something with you and your crew, put something together and don't put a cash prize on it. Just have a competition or just have a cipher. Remember Cypher Addict? Cypher Addict was crazy. It was in the basement. Mugs is hot and sweaty, getting down. They was battling and they have stories after that when they leave and go back home and they can reminisce about these things. Listen, I'm just saying that we, myself included, doing a disservice trying to say that the competition and the art form, like sport and the art form are one and the same. And it's like, Yes and no. Most likely no, because when we're going as athletes and we want to be seen in this limelight, because that's just the way the trajectory of the craft is going, you're not holding on to the art form as much as it was back in the 80s, in the 70s, 90s, whatever, right? But there's nothing wrong with still holding the craft for yourself, not worrying about money, really trying to develop your skills and doing it for the love. That's the art form. And that's what Ken Swift is about. That's why he didn't show up to the Olympics to judge, because he was like, I don't agree with this. I don't think breaking should be in this stage because this is how I grew up, right? And everybody has their perspective. You can have your perspective. But in my opinion, Ken should have been there, but I respect his decision because he wants to hold art form for what it is. Now, yes, if you want to continue the athleticism and continue the competition aspect of it, do that. That's where it is. You know what I mean? But also, you don't always practice for the competition. Practice because you want to practice and get better for yourself. Practice because you love the dance, you love the craft, the art form of what's going on. And then teach the next generation. Go to different studios or hold your own class online or in a studio for an hour, teaching the history, teaching how you move as a person in this culture. That's holding and preserving the art form and pushing it forward. Because these kids nowadays, all they're going to see what is on YouTube and going to say, oh, that's what breaking is. That's what I have to do. It's bigger than that. It's deeper than that. And you already know. But since y'all want to be a part of the competition aspect, I've been there too. I got you. Hold yourself as a professional and download the competition tracker. You go to all these competitions, but you don't get reciprocation from it, right? You don't track, I've been to 5 competitions this year and I either made it to top 16 or I made it to the finals and I won this much money or I didn't. You can have all that in a sheet. And then maybe if you want to teach the craft somewhere else, you can say, oh, I've been doing this for 15, 20 years. And these are all the competitions that I've been to that I either won or I qualified in. Download that thing in the description. Follow me as B-Boy Native, and let's get right back into it. So holding the art form is the most important thing, preserving that art form. And we need to teach the young kids how to really understand what it means to them to be a part of this culture. Breaking was meant to uplift the people, uplift the youth, and get them away from all the hardships that they had growing up. Right? And there's a lot of people who enter breaking that didn't have hardships, and that's fine. But I'm saying the core essence of it came from that. So we still should preserve that and let people know, hey, if you want to be a part of this, this is cool. Do the competitions. But did you know it came from here? New York City, 1973, whatever, right? The whole history that everybody knows. But then on top of that, add the icing on the cake. Hey, this is the story and the journey that I went through and what I learned from breaking. Maybe you can take some of this and you can apply it to your journey and hopefully you grow from that. That's where we need to go, and we need to continue to do that in order for this to grow. I'm dropping bars, baby. Holla at your boy.